With all the commotion in the IndyCar driver market, seats have emerged, and a driver that's emerged to be the favorite for a lot of teams, Caio Collet. A Brazilian rookie driver who led laps at this year's Indy 500, yet he isn't even the leader in the rookie standings at the moment. So who is Caio Collet, and why is he suddenly the hottest commodity in the IndyCar paddock? Brazil is a pretty rich country in terms of success in IndyCar, being the country with the second most wins just behind the US. Names like Tony Kanaan, Helio Castroneves, and Gil de Ferran are a few of the many guys to attribute, but now it looks like Caio Collet may be able to join the elite company. Collet was born in Sao Paulo in 2002 and started karting at the age of 7, and he won a lot in Brazil prior to moving to Europe to carry on his racing dreams. The aims were initially set on F1, as he signed with a management scheme that was also the same as Felipe Massa and Charles Leclerc, which immediately showed he was highly thought of. He also got signed eventually to the Alpine Academy in 2021, but the point here is, Collet was built by some of the most prominent motorsport affiliates in the motorsport world, and this was all before he even set foot in the USA. In 2018, he began his single-seater career in F4 in both the French and UAE Championship. For the UAE, he only competed in rounds 3 and 4 of the season, but across the 7 races between the two, he managed to finish on the podium in all except one, and he finished the entire championship in 6th. As for the French Championship, where he actually competed full-time, he managed to win the title while taking 7 wins and winning by over 65 points over drivers like Arthur Leclerc and Théo Pourchaire. After that came 2 seasons in the Formula Renault Eurocup, where he raced against some top-tier talent like Oscar Piastri. Collet finished on the podium on 5 occasions in his first year and finished 5th in the championship. Going into his second year, he had his eyes set on the title, and he continued suit by being in a deep championship battle with Victor Martins. They traded between first and second in the races, and Martins began to slowly pull away. Due to mechanical failures and Collet struggling to match Martins' continued dominance, he ended up losing the title in the end by 44 points, but he came a solid second and secured himself an opportunity for the following year in F3. Now, F3 is where Collet's career had seemed to plateau, and his dreams of F1 disappeared, and his sights were reset to IndyCar. In spending 3 years there, he finished 9th, 8th, and 9th again, while collecting 3 wins along the way, while being a part of the Alpine Academy, like I mentioned earlier. The end of his European career was good, but not spectacular, which is why he ended up moving to Indy NXT for the future, but it gave him a foundation that he's reaping the benefits of currently. For 2024, he moved to the USA and joined Indy NXT with HMD Motorsports, alongside a reserve role gig for the Nissan Formula E team, where he actually raced twice in Misano. He spent 2 years there, with the first gaining him at 3rd in the championship, only behind Louis Foster and Jacob Abel, and claiming the title of Rookie of the Year, and it only went up from there for 2025. He was flying in 2025 and dominated specifically on road courses and also thrived on ovals. He was incredibly versatile and ended up second in the championship, only losing out to Dennis Hauger, who too is doing well in IndyCar right now. After wrapping up the year, he immediately got a test with AJ Foyt Racing, and immediately reaped the benefits of his hard work as he signed on to drive the 4 car for the 2026 season in just 30 days. Now, context is important here, and it's very important to recognize the kind of team that AJ Foyt is. They're not a team expected to win, they're not expected to surprise others, so even though it was an opportunity, Collet was by no means expected to be on podiums immediately. But the one thing they did have going for them is a technical alliance with Penske that helped massively on ovals. Now, at the moment, Collet's highest result comes in the most recent race at Mid-Ohio of an 11th, but highlights come at the Indy 500, despite the results being not up to par. He was the fastest rookie qualifier, finishing 10th in the Fast 12 ahead of prominent qualifiers in the past, like Scott Dixon and Rinus VeeKay. That was pretty short-lived though, as he was disqualified from qualifying and was put on the back row due to a technical infringement. Regardless, he climbed up the ladder in the race and ended up leading 9 laps of the race before crashing on lap 192, which is what set up the iconic finish we did end up having. But a solid 2 weekends ended a bit bitter by the end result, but as a whole, it has defined his season. Even though he's yet to top 10 a race, so many teams have him in their prospects because his raw pace is consistently good when finishing results don't exactly reflect it. Well, I've said a lot about Collet, but who is it that actually wants him? It's already been confirmed that Meyer Shank has had direct talks with Collet, and he is the frontrunner for the seat that was vacated by Felix Rosenqvist, as he is moving to McLaren. Marshall Pruitt has confirmed that Collet's camp has met with multiple teams, and he does have an option to stay at AJ Foyt next year, so options are on the table. Caio Collet has a very specific combo as to what he can bring to the table that many drivers don't. He has a strong backing in terms of sponsorship due to heavy support from his Brazilian backing, and his speed is also top notch, so he offers something on each front. And it's not like teams just want him, they're actively competing for him. As it stands, Foyt most definitely wants to keep Collet, as he brings both sponsorship money and home run hitting potential, especially on ovals, and without them, they'd likely have to turn to a paid driver for next year. And Shank are actively looking for someone alongside newly re-signed Marcus Armstrong, and Collet is already being mentioned among names like Rinus VeeKay and Marcus Ericsson for the spot. One thing I do want to make clear though, is just because Collet brings in funds does not mean that's the only thing he has sought after for. His results aren't just tolerated like a normal pay driver would, he has genuine potential, and the funds are just an upside alongside it, which is much more rare to come across. Amongst Foyt, Shank, and RLL, which are the current lead options, I see Meyer Shank as the best fit for Collet. As I mentioned in the Brazilian heritage, the only other active Brazilian driver in IndyCar is Helio Castroneves, who's a part-time driver and co-owner of the team, and offers insane amounts to help to make Collet better. Let alone that's discounting Shank's success at the Indy 500, which was by far Collet's best event also. I mean, Castroneves himself revealed the team had interest in Collet, meaning the external conversation that I'm having right now is not just speculative, it's actually confirmed. Also, Meyer Shank's technical alliance with Chip Ganassi only sweetens the deal, as it is shared with the most prosperous team in the sport at this very moment. Furthermore, that's also discounting the information that the team already has Marcus Armstrong, because he's a good benchmark to go against, and he's not a driver that Collet's immediately expected to beat, so the pressure isn't crazy, and the team will be expanding to a 3-car team in 2028 with the Honda Charger, so they're growing. After all, it is an ideal landing spot, but by no means is it guaranteed, because it is a hard team to get to, and there are plenty of other guys wanting that seat as well. Rinus VeeKay is most definitely looking for an out of Juncos Hollinger, and Shank would be crazy to not even look in his direction. Marcus Ericsson might also be out of Andretti if they decide to promote Dennis Hauger, who is the rookie standings leader right now. It's not guaranteed, but if he were to be out, it wouldn't be surprising to see him at Shank, and another driver like Linus Lundqvist, Callum Ilott, or even Nikita Johnson could end up ahead of him in the running, because Collet 100% still has some more to prove. You can say results haven't come because of being unlucky or team circumstances, but that isn't a confirmable cause. He has flair specifically in qualifying, but there is still uncertainty when it comes to race results. It could be a case where Collet struggles to convert speed into points. You also are not able to call him an oval specialist because he really only blew us out of the water in the Indy 500, and with that ending in a crash, the picture's still incomplete to draw conclusions. There also has not been enough evidence to prove that he's consistent. With 2 seasons in Indy NXT and half a year at Foyt, it's way less than other prospects who have moved to better teams. Christian Lundgaard took a win before catching attention of McLaren. Malukas bounced around teams before finally landing at Penske, and plenty of others took more time. So it's not to say that Collet's not ready, it's just that there is undeniably uncertainty behind his move. My honest takeaway is, Caio Collet is undeniable potential, but the proven results don't exactly exist yet, which is why the back half of this year and the start of next year are so important. With all the flip-flopping going around the place, with McLaren making big ticket moves, and the Meyer Shank seat opening up as a result, an attractive seat opens up for a driver like Caio Collet, and the timeline for a decision is inching ever closer, and he's emerging among the top options when he has less results than the rest. A mystery man who, if he lands the Meyer Shank seat, with support from Ganassi and Castroneves in his corner, he goes from an impressive rookie with Foyt to a genuine race-winning contender. But the real question is, even though he hasn't really proved much yet, can Caio Collet become the next best Brazilian driver in IndyCar if he gets the chance to do so?